Your Northwestern State head football coach Blaine McCorkle, National Signing Day 2025, the spring edition comes to an end. Coach added 6 players, all high school guys, and it kind of fits alongside what you did in the in the fall signing period. Strategic way you've attacked roster management.
Yeah, today was a good day. Brought in 6 high school players, and that gives us 11 high school players overall in this signing class, plus the 9 transfers we brought in. Puts us at 20 new players on the roster headed into this fall, and really excited about what we've been able to get done. Kudos to our staff. Carson Stewart, our recruiting coordinator, really headed up a great year-long process to put this class together, and really proud of the work that he and the entire staff did to bring this group in.
You've talked about roster management since you got here. You've talked about geographic footprint. Just touched on one of them, the second one too, Texas and Louisiana, with a heavy emphasis on Louisiana players.
Yeah, 2 years in a row we've been really, really heavy in state. That's what we said we were going to do when we got here, and we're sticking to our guns because that's how we believe we can build this program with kids that being in the state of Louisiana matters to them. Being at Northwestern State matters. They're going to stay. It means something. Their grandma can come watch them play, and those things are important. So of the 11 high school players that we signed with the December signing period and today, 9 of the 11 are from right here at home, and then 2 from right there at East Texas. And one of the ones from East Texas, Trevor Allen, running back from over at Longview, who we'll talk about here, I'm sure, again in a minute, is actually a Shreveport native. So he's really like 9.5, So he was excited to be able to come back home and play in the state of Louisiana for his college career.
Well, those parts of I-20 were good to you. We'll talk about Trevor Allen in a minute, but we'll go a little farther west to Gilmer, Texas. Start there with Brendan Webb.
Yeah, Brendan Webb, a dynamic receiver out of Gilmer over in Texas, and you just turn on the tape for 5 minutes and he can play for a lot of people. And he's a young man that in the spring had a lot of offer from a lot of those G5 schools who are doing an interesting job recruiting right now. I think if you have G5 next to you, that means you're going to offer 200 kids in the spring and drop them all. And he was a young man that's a little bit victim of that, but we kind of believed in our process and what we're doing and offered him in the spring and stuck with it, and we're able to get him. And he's a dynamic player who will really help our receiver room, probably help us as a kick returner. He can do a lot of things, and fun player to watch.
Trevor Allen, you mentioned him coming in a little farther east, Spring Hill High School over there in deeper East Texas.
Yeah, big back. Also has some kick returning capabilities. I think some people recruit him as a defensive player, but we do see him as a running back. 6 foot, 190. Has the potential to be a 210, 215 player by the time he's done, and Coach Smelser gets a hold of him. Really excited about him. Running back was not a huge position of need for us in this class, but we will lose 3 to graduation next year, so we wanted to get ahead of that a little bit, and we're really excited to have Trevor with us. I think he's got a lot of upside down the road.
So we continue down I-20, moving closer to Natchitoches. You're back to Shreveport, and that was a good area for the Demons in this recruiting cycle. You've got Tyler Welch out of Huntington High School, cornerback, and a guy I know you like from several different reasons.
Yeah, Tyler joining his teammate Nehemiah Barrett, who signed with us in December. So in this signing class, we took 2 out of Huntington, 3 out of Shreveport altogether with Ben from Airline there. Justin Williamson, our linebacker coach, who will take over as our recruiting coordinator, did a great job recruiting this year and brought in 3 guys from the Shreveport area. But Tyler specifically, long-bodied defensive back, and that's what you look for. It's hard to find sometimes, is a guy with some length that can play corner. And it was a great receiver for him too. He's a great basketball player, just all-around good athlete. And we really liked him, offered him early as well. When he came on his visit, I kind of fell in love with him. I just liked the way he carried himself and handled his business and his family, and really excited to have Tyler join us with his teammate Nehemiah here this fall.
Good players are not just on I-20, they're along I-10, they're along I-49 throughout the state, but I-10 will go down. Christian Menard out of Cecilia, which is got a tie there. Gilmer, a state championship team in Texas a couple of years ago. Cecilia won a little bit more recently. Christian Menard, offensive lineman, big part of that.
Yeah, Christian Menard went through a long recruiting process with us all the way back to the spring and summer, came to our camps, came to our junior days. He's been on campus several times. Pretty heavily recruited kid here in our state by a lot of people. Really athletic offensive lineman, plays basketball, can move. He's lean. Got a lot of room to put on some weight, but he is physical and tough, and really excited to have Christian with us. We're going to sign 3 offensive linemen altogether in this class out of the high school ranks to kind of bolster that thing long term. And I think he's got a lot of upside, and I think Coach Camp will have a lot of fun coaching him. He's a neat kid.
And another long recruiting process that came to an end very recently. Rory Lambert out of Catholic Point Coupee comes to you a little farther down I-10 as we move west to east.
Yeah, Rory is a guy that I've known and known for a long time. and big, tough, physical football player. He's the classic road grader, if you will. Plays at Point Capee, a smaller school there, and he's just beating up those little kids. It's fun to watch his film. I had a chance last week with Coach Camp to go down and watch him play basketball, and never came out of the game, ran up and down the floor. He's athletic, he's tough, he's smart. He was a really good student in the classroom. His brother was a really good player in this league at another school down the road. So I'm really excited to have Rory, and he'll be a great fit in that offensive line room. I think he'll get along good with our players. I think everything about Northwestern really was a perfect fit for Rory with what he was looking for.
And then the last one in this group, just the way we did it geographically, Andrew Fields from down in Destrehan in the greater, Dutchtown, not Destrehan, Dutchtown, in the greater Baton Rouge area. Very physical, very talented receiver that has made his way and shown he's come through adversity already.
Yeah, he has. He's a kid that we offered him in the spring, and then he comes up with an injury at a summer camp. Those things happen. We kind of stuck with him, believed in him, and he kind of proved himself capable of recovering, came back from the injury, and put together a solid back half of his senior season. So tells you right there he can overcome some adversity. He's got some toughness, and he's good now. He's healthy. Doctors cleared him. He's good to go, so we're really excited about that. His dad played here, so I know that was really important to his family. He's a legacy player here, and pretty cool when you can carry on those traditions. I think that gives us 4 former players who have sons playing for us right now, and I wish we had 20 because those guys come in and it's got a little bit different level of importance and meaning to them, and it's a pretty cool deal anytime you can do that. But regardless, he's a really good football player. It's going to help our wide receiver room out a lot. Legacy,
Geography, but also you've got players from winning programs that have come into this program and guys that have handled their business as the student part of a student athlete.
Yeah, last year's freshman class, we really bragged on them academically. We signed a freshman class a year ago when we first got here that averaged a 3.3 GPA, and this one topped it with a 3.4. So we're, every part of our program, we're constantly wanting to raise the standards. That's one thing we've talked a lot to our kids who are here right now working out in the off season about is, things aren't going to get any easier around here, and the standard's always going to raise a little bit. And in a lot of ways, maybe we coddled them a little bit last year to kind of get this thing going from where it had been. But we're always going to raise the standards, and the academics is a big piece of that, and our guys know that, and we're excited about the type of people we're bringing in off the field as well as on.
205 days, I know you're ready.
205 days, Thursday night, and lights will be on in Turpin Stadium, and we'll be ready to kick that thing off, but we got a lot of work to do between now and then.
Coach, as always, appreciate your time.
Thank you.